Today I'll show you how to turn this into this. So I usually don't add voiceover to my videos, but this one was a bit too complicated not to. Saw is my favorite horror movie franchise, so this one is one of my favorite and probably best projects. I'm not going to tell you what you're going to need right now, but everything is listed below, so check before you start. I started with a cheap Billy Halloween store mask and some plaster gauze. Cut the gauze into small pieces, dip it in water, and cover the whole mask except the chin. You'll see why later. For the eyebrows, remember to add a little bit more gauze so you can make them thicker and more 3D looking. When you're done and after it dries, you're just gonna remove the plastic mask. We're not gonna need that anymore. And this is going to be our mask base. For this, I use a plaster copy of my head. You could also use a foam head instead, but you have to make sure that the size matches your actual head or the mask will be too small. I taped the base we made on the head and used some aluminum foil to fill the empty space and make it kind of smooth so that I can extend the plaster gauze a bit. As you can see here in the part I didn't record, I cut the extra gauze. You want the mask to reach a little bit behind your hairline. Then I basically started to paint simple craft glue on the whole thing and add pieces of newspaper. I repeat until I have 2 layers of glue and newspaper on both the back and the front of the mask. I filled in the forehead and the nose space with foil and again taped the mask on the fake head. You'll again have to fill in the empty space between the mask and the head, because now we're going to move on to the rest of the head. But this time, instead of glue, we're using liquid latex. That is because to wear the mask, it needs to be a little flexible. You are going to cover the whole head with the latex and newspaper. So the reason I chose plaster and glue for the front part is because Billy is a puppet made from hard material in the movie. So I wanted the final look to look authentic and actually look like a puppet. After it is fully dry, you have to baby powder the whole thing. Again, for that shiny hard material look, I added, I think, 2 layers of glue on the front part only. And after that was dry, I very slowly and carefully cut a vertical line to the back of the mask. For this step, take your time. It will be a little tricky. Remember when we taped foil to fill in the spaces on the inside? Well, we'll cover that with glue and newspaper as well. This side is going to be touching our face, and that's why we want it to be nice and smooth and comfortable. So I think I did about 2 or 3 layers of the glue and newspaper. Now, this part is also going to be a little tricky. The easiest way to open and close the mask is a zipper. So, you take the zipper and take your time sewing both sides on the cut we made before. It will be hard to pass the needle through sometimes, so you might need some pliers to help yourself. So a little something to remind you when you're gonna be done and you're gonna be wearing this mask. You have to cover your hair with something before you put it on, because I made this mistake once and I regret it, because of course your hair will get caught up in the zipper and it hurts. When I was done, I cut the excess and added a drop of glue on the end as a stopper. Now it's time for the chin. The surprise is that I wanted this mask to have a moving chin like a puppet. So after I failed once, I concluded that the best way to do that is with a simple method of latex and cotton. Sculpt it according to your chin and let it dry. Now for the eyeballs. This part was also something that I failed the first time, so I'll show you the right way to do it. I took a small ball and covered it with foil. As you can see on the bottom left, I tried to glue the paper directly on the mask, which didn't work because they were not round enough. So we'll use the same newspaper glue method, do around 3 layers, then after it's dry, remove from the foil, cut 2 holes in the middle, then paint. The part that's going to be red needs to be white first, so the color can pop. I use acrylic paint for everything. Now for my favorite part, which is the painting, of course. First, white all over the front of the mask, and for that to be nice and white and opaque, I think I did about 3 layers. The eyes that you see here are my first failed attempt, so don't mind those. The entire back part of the mask will be all black. For this, I did 2 layers. Don't forget to paint 3 layers of white on the chin as well. Now you take a small sponge and pinch some holes in it and add shadows on Billy's face and chin using black eyeshadow. And here I show you how it is after I'm done shading. For the lips and the spirals, use a pencil first to mark, then use red acrylic paint. If you're not sure of the design, you can use a reference picture. Remember, if you happen to make a mistake with a pencil, don't be afraid to erase and fix it. Now, since we got some time, let's do a fun fact. In the first Saw movie, Billy the puppet was entirely crafted by James Wan himself. He thought of the original look and the backstory. He's also, of course, writer and director of the movie. But as it seems, he is also quite talented in the arts and crafts department. And our paint job is done. At this point, you can glue on the eyeballs as well. Also, one small detail that I missed on recording is that you need to cover the eyeball hole with some kind of black mesh or tulle so your eyes are not visible, but you are able to see when wearing. I cut 2 small pieces of black mesh and glued them on the back. Now for the hair, for this one it's best to see what I'm doing and copy, but basically you add glue and stick the hair right on. The front part will eventually look best if you glue them on opposite direction. When the glue is dry, you can untangle and see where you need more hair. You can also use a brush if you need to. For the moving chin, at first, I wanted to glue it on the mask, but that didn't work properly and I decided it would look best if it was a separate piece. So I cut 2 pieces of thick elastic, one that goes from my chin around the back of my neck and back to my chin, and one that goes around the top back of my head. I glued these on the fake chin and done. Billy the puppet in the movie is quite glossy, so as a last step after you're done with everything, you use 2 or 3 layers of glossy varnish all over the mask. So that's it. Here I show you how to wear it, and this is me running around a convention with my tricycle. Hope you enjoyed and happy crafting.